Has anyone tried Fallout 76 Wastelanders yet? Anyone?
What's that? What is it?
Oh, well, that's the new, I would say expansion, but it's really like the reimagining of Fallout 76.
Okay.
They added NPCs.
They added NPCs in there and like a story. So I started the game again from scratch to see what it was like.
Okay.
And it's very different now. And yet in some ways still the same. So,
but is it Fallout now?
It's kind of hard to say. So at one point I left the, you leave the vault, just like Fallout. There's these two women standing outside right when you leave, and they tell you their sob story, and they give you advice and tell you to go to the inn, and you go to the inn, and there's someone in there, and she tells you where to go, and again, just like Fallout. And I'm playing, I'm like, yeah, this does feel like Fallout. This is much better. And then my character started to get hungry, so I had to find food to eat. Then I started to get thirsty, so I had to find water to drink. And then my gun started to break, so I had to go and fix my gun because you can't just loot off of things like you could in the previous games because not everybody has stuff. And then when I was at a campsite, like there's like a public campsite that I was at fixing my weapons, some guy saw my screen name. He's like, Wombat, you got bats? You eating bats? You eating bats? You got the coronavirus? Screaming at me while I'm trying to.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's right. Fuck this game. And that's when I turned it off.
Awesome.
Uh-huh. So
that guy I feel like he wasn't really role playing properly.
I don't believe so. You got coronavirus? You got it? Look at this guy. This guy's got coronavirus.
Right. He's breaking all this great world building that Bethesda's doing.
And what's worse is if you can play alone in a private world if you give them a monthly fee.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're not going to do that.
Seems pretty smart on their part.
Yeah.
I feel like that guy probably works for Bethesda.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They just have that guy. It's his job.
He just goes to every game. You got corona? You got the corona? Look at this guy. This guy's got corona. So that's what I had to deal with.
Heckler.
And again, it's like the game it's like almost Fallout. It's so close now too. It's a lot closer than it was, but still, there's just something about it. Like again, like when you're heading to a mission and it's like you're really hungry, you're not going to be able to shoot anybody until you find some more food. Like, really? Is that what I have to do? I have to find more food? It's no fun.
Oh, all right then. Sounds like you're not going to go back to it, I'm thinking.
I doubt it.
Okay. At Brock Arnett writes in and says, with Resident Evil and Final Fantasy VII remakes doing so well critically, do you think we'll see a surge of remakes at the start of the next console generation?
I'm surprised we're not seeing more now.
I think that's the way it usually works, right?
Yeah. Knights of the Old Republic remake.
That's what we get when the new consoles come out. That's what comes first.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first wave of games usually.
There hasn't been a ton of this type of thing, though.
No,
no, because it's expensive.
It's expensive. It requires work. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think a lot of games that we look back on fondly when we go back to them, we're like, oh, this is not as good as I remember it being. And there's nothing wrong with polishing it up.
I agree. If somebody wanted to make...
You don't have to come up with a new concept or a story. You just need to modernize it.
Yeah.
Put a new spin on it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why not? It's not necessarily a bad thing. As long as it's not
make
the
a new
only
RoboCop
thing.
movie.
No, that didn't work out.
That's not work. I'm not saying it's going to work every time. I'm just saying it's not the worst thing.
Right. Sometimes it works, like, Christopher Nolan's Batman. Sometimes it's RoboCop remake.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty forgettable.
I forgot about it.
I forgot it as I was watching it. I think I was trying to get it out of my mind.
Sometimes it's A Star is Born.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's been remade 5 times.
Yeah, and people still seem to like it.
Exactly.
No one's complaining.
Nope.